Back to Fire Gaming Project. So in this short video, I'll be doing a quick discussion about the Freedom Sworn, which is Klee's signature weapon, but it works really well on other Catalyst users that are focused on damage and attack and crit rate and crit damage as well. So yeah, this is following my series of discussing like 5-star weapons. I previously did it for, of course, Memory of Dust and the Red Horn Stone Thresher, etc., and the previous ones like for the Haran and Mistsplitter and all that. So yeah, we're just continuing along. In the next video, I will be doing the Freedom Sworn, so stay tuned for that. I recently just did the review updated review video for Kazuha and the review video for Heizou. So if you're interested, check those out. So in this video, like the others, we'll just be focusing on the weapon itself, as well as comparing it to the other available catalysts as of right now, 2.8 Phase 1, and also really just going over who it's suitable for and is it a good weapon or not, basically. So it's not specifically about a certain character. I will talk about which characters it's recommended for, though. So yeah, let's get to it. So as you can see on the screen, I do have this at R2, so the stats will be a little bit skewed. For an R1 version, let me see if I have on the screen here. I do have an R1 version as well that Ningguang has, so that might be better to show. So yeah, anyway, the passive, it increases movement speed by 10%, which is okay, but the important part is you get 8% elemental damage bonus every 4 seconds, so, and it's a maximum of 4 stacks, so you have to wait 16 seconds on the field. From switching the character on, and when you switch them off, they lose it. And also to get the maximum stacks, and then it's 32% here in this case. So yeah, and then let's just get to it. So I'm gonna bring it back to Klee, and then we're gonna just switch over to the weapons menu. So this weapon is again focused on crit rate and for the substat, and it's perfect for attack focused and attack heavy damage dealers that are catalyst users. So Klee, obviously. Ningguang, as you can see why I gave her to her as well, because definitely she's there. Some people have put it on Lisa, but I wouldn't recommend it. There's no point. No one really uses Lisa. There are other options, as you can see here, so I wouldn't bother with that. Definitely it's good for Yanfei too, because Yanfei is like a 4-star version of Klee. And speaking of that, let's just talk about that now. So Yanfei is using the solarpearl in my case here, and that's a battle pass weapon, so free-to-play players won't have this because you have to buy the battle pass to get it. But this is an awesome weapon too. I originally had this on both Ningguang and Klee at one point in the game. And this was not a bad weapon, but of course, once I got the Lost Prayer, this was many months ago, obviously, probably even like last year, when I got these. So yeah, I switched that out right away. So yeah, and then so this went to Yanfei, so that's fine. Other options that battle heavy characters can use are the widsith. The widsith is amazing. I just did a review for Shikanoin Heizou, and I love this weapon on him. It's in his demo trial dungeon, and also it's a really awesome weapon for Yaimiko. Both of these characters also would do well with the Lost Prayer, by the way. Again, they're damage heavy, and this works really well for their kit. But with Yaimiko, though, I believe she ascends with crit rate, I believe. That's her ascension stat, so you don't necessarily need more crit rate with her, so hence she's better off with the widsith, but it could work for her. Other crit-heavy weapons would be the Blackcliff, which is a nice placeholder weapon. All the Blackcliff weapons are great stat sticks and great placeholder weapons until you get better weapons. The passives are hard to sustain because you have to kill enemies in order to get the stacks, and if you're facing one enemy, such as a boss or an elite enemy, then you won't get the stacks. Frostbearer is a very niche weapon. It looks cool though, but it's a very niche weapon. It is again for damage heavy characters that are focused on doing normal and charge attacks, so that works for Klee, works for Ningguang, it will work for Shikanoin Heizou, and also for Naimiko as well. So that's not a bad option as well. Some people might have this eye of perception. This is not a great weapon, but it has similar attributes to the other ones I mentioned. It also focuses on normal and charge attacks, but because it only has a 50% chance, it's not the greatest. But this could work, for example, for Alisa, but this is a great free-to-play option. I had this way back when I first started the game. I eventually foddered it, of course. I did have it at R5 and I did level it up, but I later on, of course, got better weapons and I just got rid of it altogether. So this is just something from a recent polling where I got, and I'm definitely foddering it. That's why it's not locked. So keep that in mind. Okay, so I've basically compared it to all the other focused crit damage and focused attack damage weapons. One last one is the dodocotales, which is Klee's signature 4-star weapon from her event last year, 1.6. Not many people that are newer to the game would have this, but this is also another weapon that is basically for her normal and charge attacks, and is attack focused. And this is a great weapon also for any attack focused character, such as Yanfei, Yaimiko, and Heizou, and Ningguang as well. Some people have turned Mona into a damage dealer, and that's totally fine. For Mona, as you can see, I gave her the Oathsworn Eye, which we got a few patches ago in the event. This is a great weapon. It's also attack focused, but the passive is energy recharge, and that's one of her passive scaling stats, so that's why I gave it to her instead, and it works well for her, so that's totally fine. And then this, again, Lost Prayer is not comparable to any of the healing weapons, so not to Everlasting Moonglow or to Amber. It's not comparable to these elemental mastery weapons, such as Mappa Mare and Sacrificial Fragments, but I will say, speaking of these two, I did use the Mappa Mare early on. I did get Klee way back in the beginning when she first launched in 1.1, and I got her. And I was super happy that I got her for free. And I did have the Mappa Mare on her because she does trigger reactions too, obviously. But obviously, she's more better off with a Lost Prayer or a damage-focused weapon. But if you're new to the game and you don't have these weapons, or you're not going to spend on the weapon banner, that's totally fine. Then just do the Mappa Mare or maybe the Sacrificial if you want to use her as a support DPS where she can do reactions. But the unfortunate part is only her bombs from her elemental skill will stay on the field. Her burst will be swapped out, will be stopped right when she's swapped out. So I wouldn't recommend an elemental mastery build for her. But anyway, that's just me. And then I would just say, lastly, if you want to swap her in and out, you can do the Thrilling Tales again, but then that's more suited for certain characters that are specifically for support, not her. She's a damage dealer that's meant to be on field. Favonius will be helpful for her again, but this will decrease her damage that she can deal. Her output will be decreased because it's more of an energy thing, but it will allow her to do her burst more often. But her burst is unfortunately random. It's not like targeted to a specific enemy. It's like random lasers and random bombs. So that's the only unfortunate part about her. Yeah, but overall, I think that the Lost Prayer is a very good weapon. Do not think that it's like a crappy weapon that, you know, oh, you lost on the 50-50 or you got or you were trying to go for Freedom Sword and you got this instead. This is a great weapon. Keeping in mind, as we move towards Sumeru, we may be getting other Catalyst users, such as the Dendro Archon. Of course, she's going to have her own weapon, but you never know. She might, if you want to build her as a damage dealer, then this could be an option as well. We might get other catalyst damage dealers moving forward as well, so you never know. This is a great universal damage weapon. It's actually very different than the Memory of Dust, which I don't own. The Memory of Dust is a very good universal weapon. I previously did the video for that. That one, some people got upset that they lost the 50-50 for the Red Horn and they got the Memory of Dust. That's okay, because I did tell them in the comments as well of those videos that the Memory of Dust would do well, of course, for Ningguang, and it can still do well for damage dealers such as Klee, Yanfei, Heizou, and Yaimiko, right? It will still do fine. You just need to have a shielder with you, and then that will just allow the damage output to be increased for that weapon. I don't own it, so I don't have it on the screen. But yeah, those are all the damage weapons, and there aren't that many actually. That's why this video is pretty short. But overall, this weapon is a great weapon. Don't feel upset that you got this, or even the Memory of Dust. They're both good weapons, and they're also available on the standard banner. This is available on the standard banner. The Memory of Dust is not. And they're both universal weapons. This weapon also is available if you lose 50-50 on the weapon banner. There's a chance that you can get this as a non-rated up weapon as well. So keep that in mind as well. Yeah, so anyway, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have the Lost Prayers? Are you guys pulling for it? Or are you guys going for Freedom Sworn? Speaking of Freedom Sworn, I will be doing a Freedom Sworn weapon video like this in my next video. And speaking of Klee, who's on the screen, I will not be doing an updated review for her because I haven't really changed her build since before. I don't really use her, but I love her. So yeah, if you're interested in her review though, do check that out. It's older, but it is still valid because I haven't really changed her much. And I just did an updated review for Kazuha, so check that out. I also did a review for Heizou, so check that out. And I will see you in the next video where I'll be talking about the Freedom Sworn, so we'll see you there.